Hello and welcome to Hackathon Labs. I'm Mr. Hackathon, and in this video, I am going to show you how to turn any website into a workable API. I'm aware that many of you do not even know what an API is, and I will describe it in a very short sentence or two. An API allows you to synchronize data across two applications. So let's imagine you are creating your own bespoke application and maybe a mobile application, and you want to use data from CoinMarketCap or crypto markets, or you want to find events in London, so you want to connect it to Eventbrite, or maybe you want to find songs, so you want to connect it to Spotify. It allows you to connect Spotify with your application. But the challenge is not every web application or mobile application has an API endpoint for you. Let's take the example of the UK government petition site. So in the UK, you can file a petition that people can give their signature for and it can get debated in Parliament. But this doesn't have an API. So what they do have is the ability to download the data as JSON or CSV format. But obviously, when you download that data is static. It's not getting updated. So any new petitions you won't be able to see. What we're going to do and why we had this open, we're going to use a website called BrowserUse, specifically their skills functionality to turn these open petitions into an API endpoint for us. This can more readily allow us to build applications on top of the API. Maybe we want to create really smart features that can help us search all the open petitions, maybe find similar petitions, compare successful petitions, and build interesting applications on top of this API. We're going to hit try it now. And what we're going to do is to create a skill. And we are going to call this find open petitions. We're going to set the skill goal. We're going to set the generation mode so we can allow the skills to copy us by recording our browser. But what we're going to do is use agent and allow the agent to do everything. And we're going to say we've given the agent instructions to go to the URL that we have to extract the petition title, signatures, and the URL of that petition. And we've also said select next to go to the next page. So we're going to hit create skill and it's going to work on creating this skill. Now that it's finished, what we can do is run and test this. So we're just going to hit test. You can see that we do have some optional input parameters. When we hit test, we can see that it returns the petitions, it returns an ID, it returns the number of signatures at this given time, when it was created. It even returns the background, which is great. What we can also do is see the API and schemas. So if we wanted to build an application around this, what we could do, I'm going to use Google AI Studio just to prototype something really quickly to show you this in action in an actual application. We have a very simple prompt here. We have a web application for users to find open petitions based on things they're interested in. And there is a multi-line text input box for users to explain their interests and an icon for them to send a query. Although it's not perfect, here's my one-shot application. Now, it's not going to do exactly what we want it to do because we have to still connect it to our skill here in BrowserUse. So what we're going to do is just copy and paste and say, hey, this is the request to get the open petitions. The next thing we want to do is to get an API key. So we just go get API key here. We type in a name. I got my name right here. Delete this key because after this video, I am going to delete this key. And again, this is just for prototyping, so I wouldn't recommend sharing your API keys with a chat interface. What we have said here is we want to use this request to get the open petitions. Now we're going to test this. So if we go to view all petitions, let's take a look at, I saw something about what brand, Greyhound Racing. Let's talk about health, or maybe let's talk about women's health. So I am interested in women's health issues. So if I go and type in women's health issues, what I do expect to happen is for it to do a search on all the open petitions and then use AI to identify which ones are related to women's health, then display that to me. So it's found 12 sources and it has provided some AI analysis. So what we do want to adapt, so let's just view this petition. And I'm not sure if this is an open petition. Where is this? Okay, let's view another petition because this is not what I was expecting. And this is a closed petition. So I am going to say that it should, what I think is happening, I think it's using Gemini's web search ability rather than using browser use first. And it says here the results from browser use skill will be passed into the Gemini model as context. And it is saying that it's doing the right things, but I don't think it's doing the right things from what it's bringing back to me. So it's bringing back closed petitions. And if we go back to our browser use skills and run this again, it's bringing back all the open petitions. Yeah, stay open, stay open, stay open. So what I think it's doing is something is going wrong here in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I am going to we're going to try this to fix it. We're going to tell Gemini to analyze the API response, and we're going to say do not do any web search with Gemini for open petitions. That seems to have fixed our issue. So now if we type women's health issues, it's going to use browser use skills to get all the open petitions. Then it's going to use Gemini to analyze those open petitions and bring back the relevant petitions. we found one match. It says a review of 20 petitions, and only one is specific to addressing women's health. And we can go to this petition and we can see this open petition that we can now sign for. How I would potentially extend this is to maybe automate this side where a user can click one button and then sign all the petitions at once, and again use agents to sign it. I guess if we have all of this information, I'm not sure what happens if we click continue, but if we have all of this information, we should be able to use browser use again to be able to complete the form and submit it for the user if the user clicks submit. That concludes my video on how to turn any website into an API. We have done it here with the UK government's petition site, but you can do this with any site. As I have built an application in under 30 minutes, you can do the same with Google AI Studio, with Lovable, with Bolt, or any other platform. To learn more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Happy hacking.